Well, hello again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. I told you that I may go live this evening, so here I am. Do me one small favor, if you will. Hit that little thumb as you enter the like button. I promise you, it will not cost you one thin dime. That's a promise. All right. We are just continuing on the Cincinnati Brawl because every day there are some new updates. All right. And I told you that I would try to keep you informed about what's happening. All right. So um, share this stream out, if you will, on your various forms of social media. And yeah, we'll get started. I won't be before you too long because if you're like me, you have to get up and go to work tomorrow. All right. So again, go ahead and hit the like button. I'm going to give you a few more moments to um, join the stream. How you doing? I see some people I haven't seen in a while. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just do me one small favor. And hey, it's free. I'm glad I'm not the only content creator who has problems with people, and then people forget. But as I go to other streams, they're constantly saying, hit the like button because people just forget. They just do. Okay. So I'll give you another moment or two and then we'll get started. Um, so here come old flat top. He come grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball. He won holy roller. He got hair down to his knee. Got to be a joker. He just do what he please. All right. Hit that like button. All right, they're coming in. They're coming in. He wear nose, shoe shine. He got toe jam football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola. He say, I know you and you know me. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. Beatles. All right. 1969 was a good year. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. If you want me to call your name during the roll call, all you need to do, there you go, Cammy. All you need to do is um type hello or send an emoji. That way I can see that you are here. If not, I can just see a number and I don't have a clue who is with me. All right. Chicago Hood, how you doing, love? Yes, I'm having a good day for a Monday. My girls, hello. Lanita, I'm in Ohio. Saw a building footage that clearly shows a Russian guy hit the man in the face. The media is pushing hate crime toward the white folks being the victim. They're clearly, yeah, Lanita. And as I was saying, and because we're pretty much been mentioning this little situation in every video. And again, we know the guy, the Russian guy hit the black guy first. And I said I didn't have a problem with so the guy that he hit, okay, that was one thing, but when all the other people attacked, and then I guess the culmination of the woman being knocked out, I was just like, okay. Woo. So we'll see where this goes. And now they're chanting that they want the Russian guy arrested too. So they have a real quandary there. We're going to see where this goes. My girls, I had to jump right on here after seeing that dumb ninja Ohio mayor. Oh my God. My girls, I can't with these people anymore. Saying the victims. Yeah, he was saying that the victims should be arrested. OMG. I don't know why people say stupid things, but they need to keep their mouths closed. All right, Vicky's here. How you doing, Stacy? Jeffrey, how's everyone doing? Lord Jammer, Dorian is here. Florida, of course. Cammy, Tina, how you doing, dear? Isaiah, all right. Granny Go Getter, hello, dear. You're back. my girls, if they had what one-on-one, it would have been something different. And that, my girls, that's what that's my take on it. The guy that the black man that the Russian guy slapped, okay, that was one thing. If he had, the black guy was defending himself, but it just turned into mob rule. And then the lady, why she was knocked unconscious, I still don't know. And it is just heartbreaking to see what is going on in this country. And I mean, I told you I don't do well with the negative situations, so this is just heartbreaking for me. But mayor of that, and that's what I'm saying. It wasn't one-on-one when you had the, all the other people to join in, and then, it was just, yeah. Beverly, how you doing, dear? All right. So I wanted to share this with you. And yes, and for the people who only watch 2 minutes of the video and then come and lambast me in the comments, let me preface the today's video with, I understand. I've seen, because they're always, you need to see that. I've seen all the video that has been released. And I'm just saying, conflict resolution, that's probably a class that we need to teach. But people, we should tell people of all races, everyone. It's just sad. You can't go anywhere if you say something, you hurt someone's feelings. But people, for God's sake, say as little to people as possible. Don't put your hands on them. Just stay. Oh, oh my God. Oh, so anyway, I have seen everything. Unfortunately, the bottom line is no matter what the video shows, it's always going to be the white folks are wrong and the black folks are victims of white supremacy and oppression. Yeah, and Lord Jammer, like I said, I know a few people in the chat may disagree with me, but again, I look at it from my lens as an educator, and of course, we're all different, which is fine. Right, Mayor. Too bad for their feelings. They will be fine. But my thing is, police officers, educators are taught to de-escalate situations. So again, my take on it's going to be different. And of course, like, okay, example, in the school, if I see another student hit if me or another educator, if we see a student hit another student, we immediately jump between them and try to stop it before it comes to fisticuffs. So that's just, again, that is where we are at this point. And I know what I experienced at the school, and so that's the lens. So the people who only look at the video for 1 minute, and just come on saying all kinds of things, I always go back and say, go back and look, look at some more, and you'll see, what I was trying to convey. All right, my girls, did you see the video about the black pastor that lied about? Yes, my girls, another phony racial hoax story. Yes, and Mayor, this is a tragedy. That's what I said. And the people who are now being charged, and again, this mayor saying that the victims are responsible. OMG. I told you, I would not live in a blue city to save my life. No way. Tina, human beings need to act like human. Exactly. And as I said, whoever, if someone calls you words, I've expressed my sentiments, but I'm going to play some Jason Whitlock because he has Shamika Michelle, who's like on his show every day. And I'm going to let her speak for me because that's the way that I feel. And I've tried to convey that, but she says everything. I may have left something out, who knows, but everything she says, I agree with. So let's go ahead and get this first video going. If you're just entering the chat, please hit that like button. Cincinnati woman assaulted in viral downtown brawl video speaks out for the first time, and she's in bad shape, folks. So she's speaking, but she's in bad shape. She really is. All right, here we go.
So more than that, the Cincinnati Police Department, quote, has been made aware of Ku Klux Klan flyers being distributed in various communities within our city, end quote. Cincinnati Mayor Aftab Pureval, back from his heavily criticized vacation in Canada, is...
And yeah, the mayor, of course, has been on vacation in Canada. While all of this is going, another Karen Bass. Folks, stop voting these people into office, please. Okay, here we go.
Free cookie for...
Let me get rid of the commercial. Jeffrey, how are you? You're hearing it for... Yes, Jeffrey, because I see this in the schools. I see this. That's why I'm always telling you, I don't create the pipeline from the school to the jail. Lack of parenting or poor parenting, and the same people. I'm willing to give you... How you doing, Malfactor? Yes, we're cooking, Malfactor. Welcome. Hit the like button and share this stream. The same people that you see in these brawls, and there are many across the internet, go and talk to their teachers. They will tell you they did the same thing in high school. It's the same usual suspects. Mayor, exactly. You get mad when people call you names. Well, you're perpetrating the stereotype. It is sadistic. It is hard to watch this woman's life. Oh my God. I don't know if she'll ever be able to work again. She has serious brain trauma. For what? Oh my God. Let me continue with this. And oh God. Hit the like button and welcome Malfactor, dear. Yeah, Malfactor. I'm going to play some Jason Whitlock when I'm done with this video, sweetie.
The racial dynamics of this fight are unavoidable.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And some have cynically used the opportunity to try and divide us along racial lines. That is a choice we must firmly reject.
The most recent arrest happened over the weekend. Dominique Kittle's lawyer says he suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. So far, these 4 men face charges of assault and aggravated rioting. One of the suspects, Jermaine Matthews, bonded out of jail on Friday. He's out on a conditional release wearing an ankle monitor. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Emily, the lone female victim named Holly is speaking publicly now for the first time after receiving nearly $350,000 in donations for her medical and legal cost.
It's been very, very hard, and I'm still recovering. I still have a very bad brain trauma. And thank you, everyone.
Of course, the reaction to that video has been strong. And tonight, Republican candidate for Ohio Governor Vivek Ramaswamy.
I was going to share that, Cammie. It's up over 500,000 now. Her medical bills are going to be astronomical. You know, if they give you a Kleenex in the hospital, it's $100. So yeah, Benny Johnson, yeah, give Sin go because she's not able. I don't know if she'll ever be able to work again. How you doing, DeAndre? Hit that like button for me, please, love. Share this, DeAndre. Share this stream out on your Facebook and social media pages, please. Thank you so much. Yeah, her medical bills, legal bills. She had to be relocated. People were threatening her, and they still are. Yeah, she's a single mom, Mayor. She needs her income and she can't work. Who knows? She has a severe concussion. She's still hemorrhaging. Oh, God. Here we go.
Tommy will host a discussion about public safety.
Too many Americans and too many people in Cincinnati don't even feel safe to go into their own home city. I say, no, we got to talk about it in the open, because this issue of urban crime, it is politically incorrect in some circles. I don't care about political correctness.
Ramaswamy's town hall starts at 5:30 tonight in Cincinnati, and Fox will be there as the reaction to this viral attack continues. Emily, we'll send it back to you.
Nate Foy, thank you.
You got it.
Larry, the business owners in that area as well sent a public letter to the city demanding accountability and that this stops. And they talked about the danger that this has posed. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm reading as many accounts as I can. The police say that there were no racial slurs, and they looked at it 6 different ways. There were no racial slurs. But even, I mean, you have to have,
Even if there were, you're that emotional that a word triggers you, really? And you're supposed to be a grown man? Really? You need to go get help. I'm sorry, not sorry. I told you we deal with this crap in the public schools. No impulse control. Emotional. That's a product of being raised all of these single parent, female headed households. This is not acceptable. I'm always telling the students, I don't give a care what someone called you. Oh, here we go.
ask yourself, even if somebody said something, does this mean you can have a beatdown and a brawl and violence on the streets of a city? I think not. I think that's just a terrible thing. I'm looking forward to what Vivek may have to say and his town hall. You know, Cincinnati is a beautiful city, a lovely city. It's a southern city. That's why this is a bit troublesome on the racial front. I hope there's good investigations, you know, and I hope this thing is resolved. But you just can't have it. Look, we had it here in New York. We had a shooting last week that was unbelievable. How is that possible? Okay. And we're not the only ones. You've had these riots or many riots in Los Angeles and Chicago. What is going on here? What is happening to our...
The hate this has been going on with Obama and, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. And this is not acceptable. And it's just worsening. And we've said on this YouTube channel that there will be repercussions. I shared various comments with you. So if you weren't here, the video we did on Sunday, a guy has been arrested because he was threatening to unalive 30,000 chimps in Cincinnati, meaning the 30,000 black people. Okay, so people are upset and they're making plans. That's why I'm telling all of you, asking you to be careful, be cognizant. I don't care what race you are. We're all of the human race. So yeah. All right, here we go.
Great country. Somebody's got to restore law and order. Honestly, someone's got to restore law and order.
Yeah, I believe the answer to that, Kennedy.
DeAndre says he didn't like this situation. White folks don't show discretion. Why blow? DeAndre, okay, so I don't know your approximate age. I'm a Generation Xer. Malfactor, keep your hands to yourself. I agree. Malfactor before you join. Look, I told people, say as little as possible to people. Don't touch people. People are on edge. You don't know what people are going through. You know what? The less you deal with people at this point, the better. And I don't care what color you are or what color they are. And that's just where we are. Cammie, they believe they're getting back from slavery and Jim Crow. Yeah, so it's like they're repaying a vendetta. And that's not their place. Only the creator, okay, can do that. That's not their place. And so you see so many people, and I told you, I watch a lot of videos. I do a lot of reading. A lot of Black Americans are walking around with a chip on their shoulder. And again, traveling mom, DeAndre, this is how I have to handle it in the schools. This is how, 90% of the fights in today's public schools is between either black males, black male, or black females, female. And so again, they continue to walk around emotional, hair trigger, temper, no impulse control. And I was looking at some other videos. There's stuff all over. Parents, black parent fighting, attacking people. This is not what people do in a civilized society. Okay, now DeAndre, I don't know how old you are. I'm a Generation X, so when you get older, you're again, things sort of look a little bit different. Okay, and DeAndre, I'm not saying you have to be the better person, but I definitely would not engage with anyone the way I handle it. Dorian, it's not. Dorian, you know the ancestors are not proud. They're playing. Then people know, and they know how to trigger you. So again, deal with people as little as possible. Lanita, the media is not telling the whole truth. The one guy, yeah, Lanita, I've seen that. And I did say that earlier. I don't know if you were here, dear. The Russian guy, the guy that started this, he slapped the guys and spit after repeating the N-word to a crowd. He was Russian. Yeah, and I said this. We said this first video. They were drunk. But it is animalistic. Lanita, I did see that. But like I said, if it was just the one guy that he slapped, but whenever, when the crowd came, that's when it became something else. And then the woman, why was she knocked out cold? She wasn't hitting anyone. Okay, here we go.
Is that this is a holdover from the prior 4 years in which law and order was discarded in favor of woke, pretend to be prosecutors that didn't prosecute the law, where people did not see accountability. I don't see that as a brawl. I see that as a mob attack. I see it as felony upon felony, including kicking people in the face. It is nauseating to watch. And the first step is an assault charge. The first step is a riot charge. That entire group needs to be charged with the complicity law that Ohio State has for far worse. This cannot continue. And to your point, Larry, I don't care what was uttered in the beginning. Nothing justifies a mob beatdown like that ever.
People.
And that's what I'm saying. Lanita, again, the guy the Russian guy that slapped the black man, if they were fighting one-on-one, that was one thing. But when it became a mob of people, okay, that's where I have an issue. And then the woman who was not, doing anything was knocked out. And she will never be the same. We don't know. She's still in bad shape, physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, traveling mom. Alcohol was definitely involved. But also, let's also hold the Ohio Police Department accountable. They had all of the events going on, thousands of people, and they didn't have officers on duty. And I don't know if you remember, the woman, there was no ambulance to take her to the hospital. She had to get, I think, an Uber or something. She had to get herself to the hospital. We have to be the ones to be peaceful when they're violent. DeAndre, okay. You saying you don't want to be peaceful? DeAndre, let me tell you how I handle it. And tell me what your age range is, DeAndre, because that's going to explain a lot to me. Because I know how I was in my 20s. You don't want to hear that. If someone does you wrong, you're like, no. At this point, I told you, I don't care who calls me what. As a matter of fact, I don't go out a lot because people are nuts. And I'm talking black, white, Hispanic. I'm just seeing people just insane, flipping out. Like, what the heck is wrong with people? And right, Mayor. Okay, Mayor. You were born. Okay. You are at the end of, I'm thinking you're sort of at the end of Generation X or the beginning of, I don't know. I have to check that out. Too wrong. Yeah. The way I handle things, me personally, if someone calls me something or whatever, I just ignore them. I keep walking, whether they're drunk or not. Racists are fundraising her $250,000 to everyone. Just keep their hands to themselves. Yeah, Lanita, we said that. How you doing, Jason? Mayor, ninjas can't act civilized to save their own butt. My girls, I'm telling you, I see it in the schools. Lanita's a retired teacher. She saw it. Yeah, right. Okay, DeAndre. Yeah, you're right, dear. Okay. DeAndre, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying. And as you can see, we have intelligent conversations. Sometimes we disagree with each other, but that's fine. Self-control is what separates us from the animals. Jason, it's supposed to, but we're not doing a good job of that. I'm talking people, period. Not one race of people. I'm talking all of us need to do better. All of us. How you doing, Prosperity? Hey, Trish, how you doing, love? All of us need to improve. That's just where I am at this point. All of us. Here we go.
Yeah. And, words are not deeds, and words do not incite life-threatening violence. They should be condemned, absolutely. You know, in a civil society, you cannot call people epithets like that. But also, you know, for Holly, and I read that she had tried to intervene and stop the fight. Right. Never do that, especially as a woman. Like, avoid conflict at all costs.
I do. When those boys and girls at the school start swinging, and I mean throwing haymakers, I do not try to break up fights. I go and I contact the SRO or an administrator, because I have seen co-workers become injured. So I don't break up fights. That is not part of my contract. But again, this behavior, it happens in high school, and then they get older and the behavior continues.
Do not insert yourself, because you are much more likely to get injured like that, even though she probably had really good intentions and wanted to stop everything. And a lot of people feel that way. But, you know, I don't want to see other people get hurt and get wrapped up in melees like this. But a lot of people operate with impunity because they have been activated by the political left, who loves incitement. I mean, they have been advertising how, you know, they hope that someone gets shot in one of the ICE altercations because that will justify the resistance. It doesn't. We do not have a place in our society for this kind of violence, and people shouldn't be scared. And the mayor is a nutless wonder for leaving town and not confronting this and bringing his city together and having the tough conversation that Vivek wants to have.
He's showing us who he is, though. And we're always grateful to see who the bad actors are. And he's a bad actor because he's not doing the right thing. And he didn't do the right thing.
Reading a tepid statement is nothing.
No,
I mean,
he probably didn't even write it.
Tepid. Yeah.
Right? But, you know, what I'm thinking about now is that young woman, Holly. You know, her face so battered, brain trauma. She can't work now. She's a single mom. All these things that have been pointed out about her personally. But Kennedy, I know you're right, and yet my heart breaks when you say don't get involved. We've all seen those moments where, even as women, I don't know what we're thinking, but we're thinking we can get in there and make them listen to mom, but you can't. And we shouldn't have to choose between helping someone who might not be able to fight back and standing by and being one of the 100 bystanders who did nothing. Right? One 911 call, and that entire thing.
There's a difference between calling 911 and intervening like that.
That's right.
And a woman by herself, as vulnerable as can be, going into a mob of guys. You know, it's like the odds are stacked against her.
No, you're right.
And Molly, speaking of women, I mean, there's still been no apology nor accountability for the city council woman who said they begged for this beatdown. She said once she knew the whole story. That is despicable coming from an elected official. I'm waiting for her termination.
Not the only elected official that implied that the victims were in some way to blame here. Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Kearney has said, we condemn the violent actions of the instigators of the fight, as well as the violent actions of those who responded to the provocation. So there's almost an element of additional victimization here, whereas everything is unpacked, and there was a very confusing scene, and there were a lot of people who claim that they were actually just trying to break this up, that in fact there's an element of victim blaming, and they're pushing back on that.
How you doing, Darlene? Welcome to the chat. Hit the like button, love. Also, traveling mom, I know it. Prosperity, how you doing, dear? Depends on how they retaliate. Right? Okay, Mayor, that was my issue. TD-C3, I am going to talk about that this week as well. When did the news media and JD Vance say anything about the black truck driver in South Carolina when the white boys flipped his truck over? So you see, it's tit for tat. You see how this is escalating. And like the truth, they haven't said anything about the black truck driver in North Carolina. And those of you who are new here, I live in North Carolina, so I am going to cover that. It's just, I'm not like the larger content creators. I can't make, I have to do them when I can because I do have a regular job. So the rhetoric, okay, DeAndre, get the likes up. Yeah, hit the like. If you're enjoying the content, also hit the subscribe button too. Cammie, I'll be covering that too, dear.
That can cover the president of the Fraternal Order, as your point earlier, Larry, was that he said he spoke to the investigators and that there was absolutely zero evidence so far that suggested that
they've done interviews. Nothing suggests the victims were the ones that started this mob attack. Here's the thing. This sounds like a street gang looking for trouble. And that's why I go back to law and order, because street gangs have ruined so many great American cities. Chicago is an important point. Los Angeles, we have it here in New York City. Street gangs, how can you have it? They were looking for trouble. They were looking for an excuse, all right? I don't need to politicize it. We got to get out of the segment. But I'm just saying, street gangs must be stopped somehow, some way.
Yeah, via prosecutors, attorney generals, governors that actually support law and order. And hopefully Ohio will join those ranks soon, because they're not there yet. Hey.
Yeah, they are, Cammie. They're saying that they can't find. And then the Russian guy, his attorney was contacted, and he said he did not want to talk to the police. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that situation. So stay tuned for that. But then they're saying, you know, he needs to be arrested too. So we're going to have to see where that leads. Hit that like button, share this stream out, folks. I'm going to stop this, and I want to share another video clip with you, because it explains, which I've already, some of you are new here. I have so many new people joining, but I want you to hear what Jason Whitlock has to say, as well as the people that he had on his show. All right, I'm going to take this one down, stop screen. Let me know what you think about the show so far, folks. And again, this is not, it's just escalating. You know, so something will happen to white people, something will happen to black people, and then where does it end? This is not, we're not in a good space right now. Anthony Capone. Anthony, he did. The Russian guy slapped the black man. I've seen the video. He slapped the, he threw the first blow. He did. Is the Russian guy an illegal? See, Cameron, we don't know a lot about him. I'm not surprised about his action, because that's how ghetto Russian folks act. Okay, Cammy. People keep asking why these things and other things are happening. Here's the answer: sin and kicking God out of everything. Darlene, I will pin that comment. That is a truth bomb. Exactly. Okay, Lanita said, these folks, FBA, are being called everything but a child of God. Notice the media is painting the others as victims. Okay, the leader said no. Okay, thank you so much, DeAndre. Defending yourself is one thing, but acting like unleashed animals. And see, I'm kind of, I'm with my girls. I did not have a problem, but when the other people got involved, Bo G, and that if it had remained one-on-one. Okay, because the Russian guy, so the people that only watch 2 minutes of the video, watch a little bit more. And I said the Russian guy slapped the black man. Okay, so let's watch Jason Whitlock, because I want you to hear what he has to say. And this is especially with his guest, Shamika Michelle, because I agree with her 100%. 100%. All right, here we go.
Delano's on a tight schedule, so I got to be a little tighter. Delano, Shamika, welcome to the show. I want to play for you all. We'll start with the Fox News released a clip this weekend about the Cincinnati Jazz brawl that I couldn't figure out why they released this, but maybe you all will have a better understanding. But let's play the clip. Fox News says that during the brawl, someone shouted the N-word. They weren't sure who it was. But anyway, let's play the clip. Make sure my mic is on. Turn my. Yeah. Anyway, it just goes. I keep talking. They beep it out. I'm talking over it. This weekend I said, I don't even understand. Why is this relevant? Why is it relevant? Why is Fox News doing this? Why are they making mention of this? Delano, you fire first.
So Jason, I couldn't hear the audio in that clip, but the one that I saw online, I think I heard a bleep towards the end of whatever was going on there. I'm actually not sure.
Now he froze. DeAndre. Okay, DeAndre, right, DeAndre.
Delano has frozen up. Shamika, are you good?
Shamika
has frozen up.
Fox is doing it because they
frozen.
want, from their perspective, to add additional context. Oh,
Delano,
did I freeze up?
Delano, hold
Yeah.
for 1 second. Start over. Start over from the very beginning.
No, I was just saying I couldn't hear the audio and that, but when I saw it online, it seemed like it was towards the end of the video we just saw in terms of when you hear the bleep. So my sense is that Fox is saying, this is additional context in terms of how this brawl, this fight got started. I don't know if they think that this justifies it. I don't even know whether the slap that most people saw and then the ensuing fight happened before or after the thing that we just saw. So it's hard to sort of place all this, which tends to happen when you have a brawl or melee or whatever.
Supposedly, Bo, they were okay. So one of the black men kept trying to separate them, but the Russian guy. So they said that they were saying, calling them the N-word and spitting and all of these things. And then one black guy stood between them trying to make sure they didn't fight. And then the Russian, he reached and he took his hand and slapped the black guy in the face. And then all broke loose. So I was called mayor. I was called a cracker. Should I have had 50 people jump in? Yeah. So if it didn't remain one-on-one, so I think me and my girls, we're on the same page. That was my thing. Right, my girl. The guy that was slapped with street name Goonie 2 times. You already know how he got street backup. Yeah, well, Lanita, yeah, it was pandemonium after the slap. Here we go.
But I do still think that there are people who feel like the N-word, so to speak, used particularly by a white person towards a black person with malicious intent, constitute quote unquote fighting words. Now, people can feel however they want to feel about that. But many people, some that I know, if a white person came up to them and called them the N-word in the course of, again, sort of an aggressive action, they're going to fight back. And some people may feel like, no, you should just walk away. You shouldn't allow words to spur you to action. And I think it's generally good advice, but that's not always the way that
Well, that's what the people, the witnesses are saying. That okay, they were jawing back and forth, and they said they were saying screaming racial epithets or however, none of it's on tape, but that's what they said. TDC, Lord Jammer 3000, if black and victim, you get no justice. If you black and the aggressor, you won't get justice. So okay. Yeah, if you say then yeah, you might make more black people mad. Okay, Bo. Jesse, how you doing? More illegal criminals, get them out of here, period, point blank. He instigated the fight. He needs to be charged and pay for her bills. Yeah, we don't know if he was an illegal or not, Jesse. So we don't know a lot about this guy. For some reason, they're not really releasing a lot.
things work out. So I'm assuming that this is why Fox News played this, to give it additional context. But again, I don't know where this particular video fits in the timeline of that entire brawl that we saw, going around online.
The slight pushback, or the pushback I would give, is you use the term fight back. And I would say take the back off of it. They're going to use it. They're going to fight. And because there is no back to it. And I would also just say that as a Christian and just as an adult, there are no words that can trigger me.
Boom. That now we're getting into what, because some of you, we've been talking about this, and then some people come and watch the video, the replay. These are my thoughts that you're going to hear from Jason, but especially from Shamika. Big Cheese, hello. You pushing down on innocent Black people is a bad look, and you should apologize to the Black community. We're just discussing the lady coming out and speaking for the first time, Big Cheese. And I'm letting Jason, Whitlock, Shamika Michelle, and his other guests talk. Okay. All right, here we go.
From anybody. It just can't happen. That's an adult point of view. If you have time to spend incarcerated or in court or damage to your reputation, or you enjoy running the risk of getting injured, I guess words can trigger you because you got time on your hands. I've just never had that kind of time since I reached maybe 18, 17 years old. I just don't have time to give to people that, want to use words to trigger me into taking actions that will take up my time and perhaps compromise my freedom. It just seems like common sense advice.
I mean, Jason, I would agree with you generally, but I mean, I could think of some words that may, let me off the chain, so to speak. If somebody is saying something about my wife.
Okay, DeAndre, that's BS. How long are we supposed to let them? DeAndre, I tell my students to walk away. If someone's calling you names and you walk away, they'll get a clue. They're not going to stand there and continue talking to themselves. So yeah, let me continue.
Or my children and my presence. Again, I don't know how I would react, but it was interesting, a couple of years ago when Will Smith got up and slapped Chris Rock and many people thought he was out of line. I saw some conservatives who were like, no, he was defending his wife's honor. Now, they might not have known as much about, the Smith relationship as is currently publicized, but there were some people who justified it. And these are not Black folks I'm talking about. I'm thinking of one prominent white Southern conservative writer who will say, no, if you talk about a man's wife, you should expect to get slapped in the mouth. And I think that I'm not justifying allowing words to trigger you, but what I'm saying is there are times when people will do things in response to things that we say, which is why oftentimes people will say, this is why, particularly when men are engaging with one another, we should watch the things that we say to one another, because the likelihood that something verbal could turn into something physical is always sort of lingering.
And is it worth it? This is what I ask my students. Is it worth it? Because let me tell you what happens for those who do not know. If a student fights, they are suspended for 10 days. And let me be perfectly clear. The people who are fighting are the ones who need the most help. These are the same people who are not reading on grade level, who are not where they should be as math is concerned. They're not on the proper level. And that's a 10-day hit. Lanita, Roland, I agree with moving on, but if anyone lay hands on me, okay, Lanita's not having it. Okay, Lanita, you're fine, dear. It's all good. DeAndre, I understand, but that is why we're here. So we're just supposed to let them get away. Okay, so DeAndre, so you're young. Disrespect. DeAndre, no one can disrespect you unless you allow them to. Do not even... Those people that if someone tries to disrespect you, they're not paying your bills. Who gives a care? If they know they can trigger you, they will. No one can trigger me. That they're non-factors in my life. Yeah, we can agree to disagree. We can. Okay, here we go.
In the background, particularly when men engage with one another.
Okay, well, here you go, my girls. Boom. There you go, baby.
Shamika, you got any thoughts?
Okay, listen to Shamika Michelle. This is really what I wanted you to hear. These are my sentiments exactly. And I've been saying that. Listen to what she has to say. She is so intelligent. Oh, I really respect her.
When it comes to someone using the N-word during that whole mayhem or whatever, I just think it's silly that a word could trigger you to want to put hands on somebody. But I think if you are itching to act like an untamed gorilla, then white people or any non-Black will always hold the banana over you. And so when it comes to myself, there's just not a word that's going to push me to act violently at this, as people would say, big age. I'm too old for that. I'm too old to let some words trigger me to violence, to be in somebody's courtroom, to have to get an attorney, or to maybe even have my life taken or harmed. I have children to stick around for. There's just nothing that someone can say to me that's gonna take me to that level. I think it's silly. And I've had people come after me online. I've had people come after my children for things that I've said, but I just came up in a generation where we were constantly reminded, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, if it gets to a point where you are starting to threaten my life, and I actually believe that you will, and you are making advances to where my life feels in danger, then yes, I'm going to respond. As I've said before, I had no issue with the guy, I think he had on the red shirt, after the guy hit him in the face. I would have had no issue with him standing up for himself and retaliating physically, the same way that the guy came after him physically. But I just don't see that words being thrown around should equate to the violence or the level of violence that we saw, people's heads being stomped on, the lady who is still healing. For me, acting like pavement apes is just never the answer.
Okay, and again, though, I feel that 100% that I told you everything she said, I agree with. His servant, self-control is a virtue. Boom. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, this is a great conversation. His servant, I have never thought about getting physical with anyone about anything. His servant, I don't either. Why? First of all, to me, that would require negative energy. I can't. I won't. Look, let's be clear. I have fewer days in front of me than I do behind me than I do ahead of me. I know that. I wouldn't waste any time with anyone. You see how I do when people come in here and talk crazy. Safe hate is real. He was called the N-word and spat on, but when these demons do this to you, you have that same energy. Russian street gangs. Okay, Malfactor. So that I'm just saying this is my thought process. Anybody can say what they want, just don't put your hands. Okay, TDC. I've said that people say, when you're out in public, and I'm saying this to everyone, there are about 50 people in here. Hit that like button for me, folks. If you will, share this stream out on your various social media pages. Say as little as possible to people. Don't engage people at all. I mean, it's just crazy. You can't say anything to people. People are on edge. This is just, I don't like where this country is. I don't. Oh, Lanita, they do. What did Traveling Mom say? I must have missed it. Traveling Mom said something that I missed. Yeah, and it was a slap. Yeah, Summerfield. Summer Shield. How you doing, love? Hit the like button. Summer Shield and like the truth. Yeah, everyone, please, for God's sake, don't say as little as possible to people. Don't touch people, please, for God's sake. This is spiraling out of control. So yeah, but I agree with Shamika Michelle 100%. 100%. That's just where I am in my life, and we're all, at different stages in our lives. That's where what you just heard her say, and she's not done, but what you heard her say, that's where I am. No one is triggering me. I don't care what you say or do. You cannot force me to do something out of character. And now, as he said, you may lose your freedom. And so, these people who were involved in these fights, they should not have been involved in criminal activity, because even though I know the Russian guy slapped a black guy, they had outstanding warrants. So you really need to steer clear of the police. I'm just saying, people. This is a terrible, terrible situation. It's a tragedy. There are no winners, okay? This woman may never be able to work again. Never. All right, let me continue.
It for me, it's surrendering so much power to someone else that, like, oh, what you say, some person I don't know, some person that I don't work with, isn't my boss, isn't my employer, isn't my business partner, isn't in my life. For me to hand over power to them, and it's like, if you watch, did you ever see, Delano, the movie? It's a niche movie, The Jones Plantation. I had the creators on the show, and
yes, I did.
Yeah, marvelous movie. And in it, they had a scene early in the movie that the overseer was intentionally trying.
Thank you, my girl. My girls, yes, we're on the same page. They already had outstanding warrants. Now you're going to add some felonies. How are you going to get a good paying job? I'm just asking for a friend. Again, when you do not have impulse control, okay. Maga Tamara, how you doing, love? Hit that like button. I'm saying you have to think about your life and your responsibilities. And someone says something, no. Another thing is the liquor in their system also intensified the situation. The Russian guy had that. Yeah. Hey, you can tell the people have been drinking. You could tell. There has to be much deeper than this. Get into the root gets better. Yeah. I agree. Okay. All right.
Trying to say things to provoke the black dude and the black slave, because this is set back during slavery or whatever. And to me, it was such a wonderful point that they were making. like, man, they've been playing this game on y'all for a long time.
Yep.
That they can trigger you and get you to act in a way that actually harms you more than it harms them. And so I just am reluctant, or I just don't, I'm not a puppet that I'm going to allow anybody to put on a string. And so I think some men think it's a sign of manliness that, hey, there's fighting words. There's things you can say to me that's a bridge too far. And for me, it's like, nah, there's no puppet strings you got on me. There's nothing you can say that I'm in control of my behavior, my emotion, and how I'm going to spend my time.
And Jason, I think that comes obviously with age and maturity. Obviously, right? As someone who's covered sports, for much of your lifetime, you've seen guys get into brawls, get into fights. Managers wanted to fight with reporters, and reporters wanted to fight with players, and so on and so forth, all over the exchange of words. And I think, to Shamika's point, as you get older and more mature, you start to see, and you are able to weigh the cost and benefit of any of your actions much more quickly in almost a millisecond. And you think, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. And is this something that I want, right? Is this something that I want to affect my family, down the line? As I said, I think that comes with maturity. I'll give a quick personal sort of anecdote, right? One of the few times I can remember a white kid calling me the N-word, I was in 6th grade. I was in Catholic school. I went to Catholic school for 2 years. Good academically, not a good fit for me socially, right? And this kid, we were going back and forth because this is, kids talk, and we were both cracking on each other. And he said, your mom's like the lotto, $1 in a dream. And I said, your mom's like a shotgun, 2 cocks and she blows. And we were going back and forth, and I didn't like him, Jason. And this is to your point in terms of how people can use words to manipulate you. And I was running a counter program on him. And I said, okay, if I can get him to call me something, then I'll be justified. Now, again, this is my 6th grade mind. I'll be justified when I smack him across the face. And this is not my personality at all. I just didn't like him. And I said, well, you better not call me that word. And we went a few more rounds, and eventually he did. And I responded, and I don't know if I got suspended for that. I got suspended for, uniform infractions, haircut infractions, but I don't remember if I got suspended for that. But it does go to your point that sometimes people will say things to intentionally get a rise out of you. And as a parent now, I instruct all of my children to respond in the way that they should, regardless of what people are saying, because I know, again, that sometimes when someone knows what triggers you, they will always hold it over your head. Shamika put it beautifully in terms of the gorilla and the banana. They'll hold it over your head. And part of what I started to practice as I got older is to say, if that's the reaction that you want to get from me, that's the one thing that I'm not going to do.
Now, see, that's mine. That is mine. What he just said. When people are trying to get a reaction, oh no, I will not give you a reaction. No way. A lot of this truth said we're all wired differently, and that is true. I like the truth. And we definitely need conflict resolution classes, and we wouldn't have so many of these situations. Obviously, social media is not helping the situation. It's making it worse.
In this particular moment. And I practiced that throughout my life with friends, family, and relationships. Whatever reaction you're trying to draw out of me, that's the one that I'm not going to give you.
And that, I don't know when's the age where I fully figured it out, but I've shared the story before. 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I'm down in Miami. It's when me and Dan Lebitard are great friends, and we're at some hotel pool party, on the roof or whatever, and a Cuban woman, I believe she was Cuban, got all in my face and just kept calling me the N-word. And I just looked at her like she was crazy, and I never reacted or ever responded. She wanted to trigger me, and she was smart enough to know, if I can get this big black man, no matter what I say, if I can get him to put his hands on me, then I win. And he gets in a lot of trouble. And so I just never reacted because I truly don't care. And part of this to me is, even then, 20 years ago, part of it is part of a spiritual maturity and just understanding who I am. And if I think too many Black kids are raised with the mentality given to them from their parents. Someone calls you the N-word, you knock them out. I believe that is standard. When we talk about the talk, I think that's one of the main talks Black parents give their Black kids, and they're sending them straight to hell. Shamika, am I right, wrong for thinking that?
Yeah, I definitely think it comes from the parents. I say all the time that I remember asking my grandma how she felt about the N-word, and she told me it didn't bother her because it meant an ignorant person, and she wasn't ignorant. So I grew up not really giving a lot of thought to the word. I don't think any white person has ever called me that to my face that I know of. Perhaps online. I just don't really pay much attention to it because my mother and my grandmother didn't pay a lot of attention to the word. And my grandmother, there were stories that she told us as a nurse that she would walk into the room and a white person would say, I don't want that N-word helping me. And she said she would walk out of the room and say, well, die then. She just... it was just not a thing for her. And so she kind of passed that down to us, that it was just never a thing for us. And for me, I don't like having very emotional exchanges with people that I don't have close relationships to. I've seen people online, like they may say something to me and I may fire back at them because it's fun. And people will say, oh, don't let them get you worked up. I don't know them. They aren't getting me worked up. I could be in the tub, on the toilet, or just, having some downtime. They don't get me worked up. It's all an act. But when it comes to having that real emotional exchange, you have to be someone close to me. And even then, I've been called a bitch and I still don't respond in a physical way, acting unseemly and irrationally. I just don't think it's worth it.
And to me, and see that again, those are my feelings. I don't care. But those of you who've been here on the channel long enough, I told you, I tell you every string, I don't give a care. People come in and say all kinds of horrible things and they'll leave comment. I could care less. I'm not in here crying. Oh my God. I don't care. Oh, Maga, that's your nickname. Maga, that's what they've called you. Oh my God. So, yeah, I'm just saying, the victim blame that they're doing, everything that they're the mayor, I don't know. So again, everyone just watch what you say to people. God forbid, don't touch people. Oh, so again, all of their lives have been changed for the worse. Again, this woman may never be able to work again. She has extensive medical bills, legal bills. She had to move because of threats against her life. And this is not okay. And I'll say it again for people who only watch 1 minute of the video. I would have been okay. Randy Golden Crown. How are you? How you doing, dear? John, we know until it happens to you. John, what are we talking about? No one wins. John, I walk away from idiots. Matter of fact, I say, like I just told you, I say very little in public because people are unhinged. And I find the less you say, the better. The less you say, the better. And I don't have to worry about this nonsense. I'm not doing it. And again, the people who are trying to goad you into some type of altercation, they're miserable. And guess what? Now, and remember this now, depending on your job, for those that don't know, let me cue you up on this fact. Jammer, Cammy, Randy, hello, dear. John, Maga, Mayor. If say I'm in Walmart or if I'm in a grocery store and some nonsensical person comes in there and starts calling me names, I lose my cool. We get into an altercation. Just for you people and that don't know, anytime a teacher is arrested or gets into trouble, that is sent immediately to the superintendent's desk, just so you know. My reputation is stellar, and I want it to remain that way. So no one can say something that's going to cause me to flip out. Blazer Bobcat, meow, how are you? Watching and listening from Albany, Georgia. You're right. Nobody wins in a sad, sorry situation. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. This single mom. And again, look at the people who've already been arrested. They just made their lives horrible. One of the guys has 5 kids. How is he going to help his children? So if you think about your life and your responsibilities, you would definitely make some better choices. Okay, so that's just where I am with that. I don't lick boots. I'm telling you, if you want do you want my honest opinion, or do you want me to sit here and blow smoke up your rear? I'm telling you, that's how I feel. And that's how I try to live my life, because no, I'm not an emotional person. If someone says something I don't like, I just deal with it the best way that I can. But I'm not, hit the like button for me, please, folks. I'm not going out here and cussing and fussing with people. We know there's a phone everywhere recording something. I will not have my reputation tarnished. I won't. For what? For someone I don't even know, for some miserable human being that's lashing out at me or whoever else will engage with them. I'm not doing it. I'm not. So that's just, and again, some of we all are different. We all may have different opinions. I'm giving you my honest take. That's my review. I'm not going to do it. I have a 27-year career that's been stellar so far. I don't need to go out here and respond to some moron who says something they shouldn't say. It's just, to me, it's not worth it. I'm trying to finish up my teaching career and enjoy the rest of my life, what's left of it. I don't have time for negative energy and nonsense. I don't. So that's just, and kudos to Benny Johnson for, John can't reason, so he calls names. Yeah, the new folks here, you're entitled to your different opinion, but please do not call people names. People are, do not deserve to be called names. So you're welcome to be here, but do not call people names, okay? Because the moderators in this chat, their block game is real strong. Okay? MAGA, John, why is she a bootlicker? Because she's not rude to white people who did nothing wrong to her. MAGA, say that again for the people in the back. I'm not mistreating people. That's not how I was raised, okay? That is not how I was raised. I was raised to treat everyone fairly. I will not be a part of, I think it was Jason Whitlock did the Black KKK. I need to do a video on that. Right, Jeffrey? Come in. You can have your opinion, but do not call people names, or they will time you out. You start with Miss Rowland. I'm going so far up your butt. I know you ate for dinner. MAGA's not playing. MAGA is not playing. I love it. And so we're happy for you, Big Cheese, that you're winning. We're happy for you. We're just saying, as long as you're respectful, you won't be timed out. But I can't sit here and pretend. That's why I really wanted to play this video for you, for Shamika Michelle. That's how I live my life. No one is going to, upset me to the point that I'm out here fighting. Congratulations, Big Cheese. You did win a prize. When you were born black, nothing matters with skin color. Dude, you're obsessed. Yeah. And I have more of, and I guess, again, my experiences dealing with teenagers that do the same thing. They get a few years older and they're still fighting. Go back. If God would allow me to reach out to the people that have been arrested so far, if I could reach out to their teachers, I'm sure they're not going to tell me that they, oh yeah, we thought they were going to be future astronauts and lawyers and doctors. I'm sure. Let me see their behavioral records. I'm just saying. People do this and then they continue to do this into adulthood. And this idiot, his mother was like, my child. You're a child, ma'am. This guy, I don't know how old he is. He's not a child. And, she's the problem. Single parent. No, it was a failure. Not all, but a lot. Congratulations, Big Cheese. Okay, all right, I read that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Ignorance. And Randy Golden Crown. Yes, mess with Roland and just know she got peeps. Don't test the water. Tell them, Lanita. But that's how I feel. And Lanita's a retired educator. She can sound off about some things that she has also witnessed. So Again, I have so much footage I could share with you about people in the ghetto behavior, acting ignorant. And I'm sorry, I will not, I cannot, I will not live like that. I will not be around people who act in that manner. I was not raised with people who used ghetto vernacular terms. I will not be around that now. I like where I'm at. I like the space I'm in, and I was not raised to hate. I will not hate. And again, all of these people, again, I'm seeing white people all over social media. They're saying they're coming out telling things that black people have said and done to them. I mean, horrible things. But no one says anything because they're white. It doesn't matter. And it's not fair. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Rollins is speaking facts. Teachers know which child will end up in prison based off of their parents. Boom. Boom. Say it again for the people in the back. And their behavior. Cammie. Yes. How you doing, Tracy Cook? Hit that like button, love. If you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. Love you too, Lord Jammer. I just try to come on here and give you facts and personal experiences that I've had. There are students, I told you, I don't waste time on the people that don't want to learn. I spend my time on people who are actually there and they're engaged and they're enjoying the curriculum that I'm teaching them. And I have an excellent relationship with many former students. I have students at Duke University. I have students at Yale University. I have students at the local lockup, and I have students in prison. Make a choice. It's all up to you. I don't want to hear about white supremacy. I don't want to hear about systemic racism. We're talking about the choices that you are making for your life. Boom. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the excuses. That's why things never improve. And Lord Jammer and Jesse, I think you're new here, love. Hit the subscribe button, dear. Maga, Cammie, Lanita, Lord Jammer, my girls, all of you know it may hurt, but like when we were talking about Dr. King, hey, but I still wanted to share that with you. Okay. And that's just where we are. It was not Greg, we didn't say it was a brawl, love. It was, well, the media has labeled it a brawl, but I think you're just joining us, Greg. It turned into a mob situation, Greg. Okay, Greg, how you doing, love? I think you've been here before. Greg, my take on it has always been, let me wave at Greg since Greg is joining us again. Hello, love. Hit that like button, babe. All right. So, Greg, tell me what your thoughts are. I said, yes, the Russian guy hit the black guy first. And I know for me being a woman, I can say, oh, we should turn the other cheek. I know for the most part, men don't operate that way. So I'm not living in that la-la land. All I said was, Greg, in my opinion, and I think my girls were saying the same thing. Oh yeah, Greg, be careful, love. It's getting rough out there. I said the Russian guy that slapped the black guy, if they had been fighting one-on-one, I did not have a problem. Now, I'm not into fisticuffs and fighting, but that's a total different situation than what it descended into, where all of those people were kicking and hitting. And you see that woman with the blonde hair, she was arrested. I don't know her situation. Does she have children? So again, you make snap, decisions, and it's going to affect you the rest of your life. If she has kids, now someone has to watch the kids, or Child Protective Services has to take the kids. I'm sure she had a job. Now she's unemployed. She doesn't have a job. Think about your decisions. Greg, I don't know if you know this. I teach high school, so things like this really bother me because I'm always trying to beat it in the head of my students, who walk away. Oh my God. hit that like button. If we can get one more person to hit that like button, we'll have 50 likes. Greg, do you understand what I'm saying now, dear? Because I think you joined us kind of late. Jeffrey said the corner's getting old. Yeah, Big Cheese, I don't know what's going on with Big Cheese, but I'm just saying, and some of us may have a different opinion, but that's how I feel. 3 kids sent to tragic shop life snacks. Then mama told the police everyone steals. And so, yes, Lanita, yes. I saw that, but I didn't have time to watch it all. I was at work and it popped up on my phone. So I need to go. I need to go check that out. I'm so old. Back in the day, we fought, then made up. Great. Yeah, remember you and your friends would fight, and then at the end of the day, you were back playing games and stuff. Yeah, so Jason, Big Cheese in here dancing for Kamala. I don't know why, because she's done. She is so done. Just like, God forbid, I'm praying these 2026 midterms, we have got to make sure we do not lose ground to these Democrats. I cannot take it. Oh my God. I am so, and let me say this. I have people leave me comments and you're not real and you're doing this for clicks and views. I said to one person, I said, thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate you. Again, I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. I will not come on here, waste time and pretend. Okay. I am not chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. I love it would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. A red, gold, and green. Greg, I used to sing that all the time before the election for because she's definitely a chameleon. Black one day, East Indian one day. Thank you, Greg. I'm trying to take some singing lessons. But yeah, I'm just saying I don't like to see this type of violence. I'm not telling people you have to turn the other cheek. I'm telling you, we all need to get back to, thank you, Mayor. We all need to get back to God. And I'm not a Bible thumping person, but I know who my creator is. And if people, hey, let's be clear. If people are still, worship God the way they're supposed to, we wouldn't have all these problems. You would not. And the devil has taken over. I think my girl said something about that. If we get back to God, this is not acceptable. All you need is love. Do 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 do. All you need is love. Do 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 do. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And that's the problem. We don't have love. Bo, 5,000 Black families owned slaves in the 1860s here in the U.S. How many know that? Oh, Bo, I'm an avid history buff. I do know many Black Americans owned slaves. They did. Indians did too. We took God out of everything. Greg, when you take God out of everything, the devil moves in. He's been in there ever since. They took God out of the schools. Look at where the schools are now. I'm honest with you, Greg. I have 27 years in. If I had children, thank you, Greg. If I had children, there is no way I would send them to a public school because I know what happens in public schools. No way. And so, again, I'm not going to come on here and tell you everything is wonderful. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the truth, Ruth. And that's just where we are. And if people don't Tracy Rowland for his culture, not Tracy Rowland is a grifter. Rowland is about making money. And for people leave me comments, you're doing this for money. Honey, I can show you my Rocket Mortgage my monthly mortgage bill. And trust me, I would not be able to pay it. Okay. My teaching job pays my bills. So people come on here, and when I leave comments on other stations, they're talking about all kinds of crap. You're doing it for money. Oh my God. Where is the money? I cannot pay bills. I have to pay bills with my teaching job. So they need to stop it. And so that's just where we are. If people could get back, lie the truth. I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to let people know you can get violent. Some people don't walk on you or take advantage. I lie the truth. And like I said, every situation is different, dear. So I'm not saying a one size fits all. I am saying, however, and like I said, I don't have these problems because I have very few interactions with people because people are unhinged, and I'm talking all people, and so half was white, half was black. We had no problem. Greg, I went to middle school, well, it's called junior high, in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. It was me and maybe one other black person in the school. I had no problems. I did not. So when people come on here and tell me I'm grifting and I'm this and I'm that, I'm like, you don't know my experience. I'm not walking around, oh, kill white man. I hate white for what? I'm not doing it. And I told you, I could sit here and tell you some stories about white people God placed in my path to help me. So all these people walking around with grievances against other races, when you go before your creator, you do not know who he had in place to help you. So, you know, I'm not doing it. I accept everyone. It's not wonderful because of racist people on every side. Yeah. And black people, a lot of black people are racist as well. Lanita, feral adults and kids are worshiping their father, the devil, doing his work in chaos every day. Boom. And operative word, folks, is feral. And those of you who know how feral cats are, they are wild and untamed. These people are the same that Lanita's talking about. So they come on and call me names because I'm, as what's his face is always saying, I'm tearing down black people. I'm not tearing down anyone. I'm showing you what is going on. That's it. I can't come on here and make this up. They don't like the fact that you can and do think for yourself. My girls, I was raised to be an independent thinker. That's why I'm not a Democrat. I was raised to think for me. With the Democrats, it's all groupthink. We know that. Bo, I remember when I was a soft-hearted lib, those days have passed. Not everyone is willing to live properly. Not right, even when given opportunity. Bo, because they're sitting back blaming a whole race of people for their shortcomings, for their mistakes, for their mishandlings, for their bad choices. And nothing will change as long as you continue to blame white supremacy, all right, and systemic racism. Racism is an excuse for failure. If you're out here working, God will lead the way. No one, no thing is above Almighty God. So stop. These people, oh, we're racist. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to. Talking to the wrong person. Tracy, your great grandmother was a slave. Right. Now, I'll talk to someone like that if I could. Someone who really went through some tough times. But these people running around here now talking about racism, get out of here. You're making a fool of yourself. Lord Jamrot, yes, I told you I'm highly disappointed with Candace. I don't know what's going on with her. And I think it's sad that she turned on Trump like that. And so I haven't watched any of her videos in a while. She just sort of turned me off when she just, yeah, I'm done. Greg, I'm 65 and white. I grew up in a black neighborhood in the 70s. Had no problem. Greg, all right. Greg, I think you're a boomer if I'm not mistaken. You're a baby boomer. Maga grew up in Detroit in the 80s and 90s, and the only ones I didn't like were the girls. Yeah, Maga, because girls are real catty. So I do get that. Candace went rogue. Yes. It's so disappointing. What happened to Candace? I enjoyed her so much. And then when she turned on Trump, Traveling mom, what hasn't she said? Oh, you're a baby boom. Oh, yeah. All right, Jeffrey. Okay. We love all the boomers, the Xers, the millennials. We love everybody. I remember when there was a thing called free range parenting. Parents would let their child from ages 8 and up roam free throughout the city. I remember hearing about that, Cammie. My God, sorry I meant to say they didn't like me. I was a tomboy, so I talked to their boyfriend. Okay, Maga was a little lady killer, a little man killer when she was younger. Okay. Yeah, Candace she just flipped on I mean, does anyone know? I mean, she got kicked off the Ben Shapiro show, and then she just started going down here, start talking about Trump. Like, what the heck is she doing? I mean, I'm just disappointed, which I shouldn't be. But I like what Trump is doing. That's what I voted for. I have no complaints. Whatever comes, God will give us the strength to deal with it. And that's just where I'm at with that. What are your thoughts on that, folks? And we're going to get off from here in a few minutes. She went Catholic. Okay. Traveling mom, I only listen to you. Traveling mom, what are you trying to tell me, dear? Randy, doesn't that make her a rhino? Randy, that's a good point. She may be a rhino now because she's disagreeing with Trump, and that's what the rhinos are doing. You're right. Bo, I live in an old sundown town from the 60s. We didn't have racial issues. When other races moved here, just take care of your stuff and you'll be accepted with the rest. Boom. Exactly. And so, I'm just saying, folks, if we could all, I didn't grow up like that. Thank God. My parents, I'm glad I was raised to love everyone. I was not raised to hate. Thank God for my parents. Oh my God. Oh, and so a lot of it, again, you heard even Jason Whitlock referenced it in this video. And, they tell their kids that crap, and their kids have that chip on their shoulder. And you see all of these people lashing out, ghetto hood rats lashing out. Yes, Greg, Obama lit it. He did. He did. I only watch you. Oh, traveling mom. Love you, traveling mom. Thank you for that. But if we could all put aside our differences, God doesn't care about skin color. Why do we? Why? And one of my very favorite songs. All right, you better tell me the artist and the year. And you know this is one of my favorite groups. Of course, no one tops the Rolling Stones, but this is another one of my top groups and another one of my favorite songs. And to me, this is what we all need to be focused on. Love. I've got to take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. And this mountain I must climb feels like the world upon my shoulders. And through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder. Oh, come on, Greg. Come on. They're my favorite group. I've been to see them in concert at the Steel Wheels concert when I was in college. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. I want to feel what love is. I know you can show me. Yeah, that's Foreigner. I love Foreigner. That's 1984. That's what we need to be focused on. Love, folks. We all need to gain a better understanding of just what love is. That's okay, my girl. How many of you love Foreigner like I do? Hey, they made me want to be a jukebox hero. Stars in his eye. Oh my God. Who doesn't love Foreigner? Who does not? Oh my God. Feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Lord Jammer. All right. Greg, come on, Greg. Greg, I'll take it. Greg, if you come here, I take it way. Oh, yeah. Hot-blooded. Check me and see. Honey, I know all of Foreigner's music. Oh, my God. Not here. We take care of business. Race doesn't matter when acting foolish. Boom. There you go. We need, yes, that's why I said, let me sing that song. And if you, those of you who remember that song and that video had that crowd of people coming together. Greg, I like Triumph too. I love Foreigner. Oh my God. Steve Miller Band, Foreigner, Chicago. Hey, I could go on. Summertime. I love that too. Summertime. Before he went cray-cray. He went cray-cray when he married that crazy Jada. Oh my God. He was all right till he married Jada Pinkett Smith and he just flipped out. Oh yeah, hot fun in the summertime. Oh, so that's all I wanted, folks. I enjoyed this and I was tired and I was like, it's Monday. I'm not going to do a live, but I'm like, I wanted to show, I feel so bad for this lady. And if we all here, I'm sure we all believe in God. Let's send up prayers for that lady. That lady has severe head trauma. That lady may never be able to work again. My great grandmother lived to be 100 in Alabama. Wow, Tracy. Kudos. She was a slave. Oh, wow, Tracy, you have some history here. Yeah, Greg, her name is Holly, love. Yeah. Her name is Holly. That she asked that her last name not be released, and it has not been. Let's keep praying for each other and for this country, because we can be something amazing if we can just get over the skin color thing. MAGA, God doesn't care. That's a human situation, right? And it's so sad. It's so sad. And again, I am so glad. I thank God I was not raised like that. And that's why I'm a forward thinker and I'm an independent thinker. And that's all I care about. I don't care what color you are. And thank God I wasn't raised to hate. And unfortunately, when you look at many in the Black hood ghetto culture, I looked at some videos. We can't make it. I'm a Black man in America and I can't make it. Who said you're saying that? You've been brainwashed and indoctrinated. You can make it. Stop with the lies. You know, and so some people need to be deprogrammed and to get out of their own way. They're failing because of their decisions. Thank you, Greg. God doesn't give a care what color we are. He created us. Bo, that's what I said. That was where I had the issue, dear. That's exactly where I had the issue. Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound. Oh my God. To the holiness like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had. And what you lost. And what you had. Oh man, now you know, come on, Margaret. You know I have Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits in the truck. CD. Boom. See? Now if I had been raised to hate white people, I would look at all the good music I would have missed out on. Rumors, Greg, one of the best albums ever created. Rumors. Yes, I have the greatest hit CD of Fleetwood Mac in the truck. Stevie Nicks, when she went solo, yes, love her too. Yes. Greg said yes. All right, Greg. Now, if I go live again, tomorrow's Tuesday. If I go live Tuesday, or it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know which day. Just depends on what pops up on my stream. But I have some more ghetto hood culture people fighting at a small, like a Pee Wee League football game. Just a mob of people fighting. You know, it's a bunch of big backs in there too. So big back, big back, big back, big back. Look at all these rumors. Oh yeah, look at all these rumors surround me every day. Oh yeah, the Timex Social Club. I remember that song. Yeah. So yeah, if I go live, if all of you check your if you check on YouTube, if I go live, it'll be 6 o'clock. It will be Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know, maybe both days. But if you check YouTube, you'll see if I'm going live or not. We back in the day listen to some of the best music. Randy, I went roller skating every Friday night. My two best friends, they were white, Pam and Paula. And we went skating at the roller rink every Friday. Oh, Eastern Standard Time, Greg. Yes, I'm in North Carolina. I'm here at Fort Bragg, Greg. Yes. Yes, Jeffrey. It's not lies. It's not the stereotypes are continuing to be perpetrated. The cruise ships, the malls, everywhere, football games, everywhere. You're in Kentucky, yeah. I've been to K-State, so I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Frankfort, Kentucky. You could understand and relax, not get angry and wound up. Randy, I don't let people upset me. I'm too old, Randy. I don't want to have a heart attack or a stroke. So I ignore people. My id game is real strong. Greg, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, Lanita said the 3-kid snack. Let me type that in now. So yeah, I wanted to show you that. Like you said, these feral people have these feral children, and they're unleashed on the rest of us in society. You say it's the 3-kid. Let me see. 3-kid snack. Okay. All right. I'll type that. Yeah, because it flashed. 3-kid snack. So I might have to go live. I want to show you the fight at the football game. So you get mad when people call you animals and all these other horrendous things. But look at what you do. What is it, Lanita? 3-kid snack thieves. Okay. All right. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, their mother told them to do it or something like that. And yeah, they got stopped. They were locked inside the store. Something like that. So I kind of know what you're talking about. I haven't looked at the full video. Kids stealing snacks. Wasn't that in Dallas? Am I right, Lanita? I think that was in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me know. But yeah, that flashed and I just didn't get time, but I'll definitely check that out. Okay. All right. Fighting at the stores here in Texas, tax-free schools, 8th, 9th, and 10th. At Jeffrey, and what angers me as an educator, the ones who are fighting are the ones who are woefully behind to begin with. And then they take a 10-day hit, and lots of times they fail the semester. That's what happens. I'm just giving you facts, people. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Not sure, but was it Target? What's going on with Target? Jeez. So I'm going to go, folks. I enjoyed you, but check tomorrow, and either tomorrow or Wednesday I'll be live. So true. Yeah, Jeffrey, these hood boogers have got to go. They've got to go. We've got to delineate from them, because they're just pulling everyone down, and I will not live like that. No way. I'm not a Christian, but appreciate the cultures and countries they've built throughout time. It's the greatest we've seen, and I'm thankful to be a part. Okay, Bo. Okay. Yeah, Lanita, I'm going to check that now. I enjoyed all of you. I love you. Be safe. We're going to get off from here now. Do me a small favor. God bless you too, Greg. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to check tomorrow and Wednesday, 6 o'clock. If I'm live, it'll be 6 o'clock. And then when you come to the channel page, just click on live and you'll see if I'm live or not. I'm coming to talk to you in the comment sections. Oh yeah, Maga, I enjoy this. This is my favorite time of the day. This is my golden time. I just sing that song by Maze. This is the golden time of the day. Oh, one of my favorite Maze songs. I know my girls knows that song. Yes, God be with you too. And I'm coming to talk. Don't forget, love, once I end the live stream, don't forget to come and leave comments under the description box. Now, if you want to watch these videos again or in their entirety, I've already included them in the description box, so you can click on those links. Good night from Albany, Georgia. All right, Georgia. Georgia. Yes, Jeffrey Mays. Yes. Woo, that my favorite song by Maze is Golden Time of the Day. Yes. That and Happy Feelings. Happy Feelings. Frankie Beverly, R.I.P. All right, I'm going to get off from here. Again, if you leave comments, I promise I will come and respond. I always do. And I enjoyed you, and I want you to be safe until we meet again. Yes, Jeffrey. I told you, honey, I listen to every genre. I love music, period. All right. All right. So here we go. I'm coming right now to meet you in the comment section. So here I come. Enjoy your night. Here I come.